What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to Hear These Thoughts. So this is going to be my 2026 Royal Rumble quick review. I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible because I got something to do. So before we get started, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get into this. So let's start off with the Women's Royal Rumble. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had so much fun with this match. The pacing was near perfect and it was so entertaining. So when I watch a Royal Rumble match, for those who don't know, I look for 4 different things, right? I look for a surprise entrance. I look for new and developing storylines within this match. Number 3, I look for newer stars being elevated to the next level. And number 4, I look for entertaining moments, whether it be comedy, whether it be obviously wrestling moves or whatever the case may be. Those are the things that I look for in Royal Rumbles. And when it comes to the women's, I believe that they did 3 out of 4 of those, or I would say 3.5 out of 4 of those, almost perfectly. Now, I give a half to the surprise entrances. Now, with Brie Bella, it may not be the person you wanted to see, but I was surprised that she was there. And I knew something was up. When Nikki Bella had a 2 on the back of her attire, I'm like, okay, well, she's 2. Then who's number 1? And out comes Brie Bella. I'm like, oh, 1 and 2. They're twins. They're here together. They're sisters. Like, I should have known it the whole time. But to me, it makes me interested to know what are they going to do with the Bellas, right? Because if you got both Bellas here, there's no way you leave them out of WrestleMania this year, right? So does that mean they're going to be inserted into the tag team division, which makes the most sense? Or will Nikki Bella try to do something different and Brie help her out? I don't know. But that's the story for them to tell. But I thought that was a pretty interesting thing to do. And I was a little bit disappointed that Bianca wasn't there and Zoe Stark wasn't there, but I do understand that both women came from a pretty, significant injury, regardless of how you look at it, and it takes a little bit more time to heal. So if that's the case, it makes all the sense in the world. My prediction was for Bianca Belair to win the Elimination Chamber regardless, so I didn't think that she was going to win the Rumble at the end of the day. And as far as the surprise entrances, there's only so much they can really do without dipping back into the nostalgia well and bringing up 60, 70-year-old wrestlers over and over and over, right? So I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they used all the active wrestlers. Now, as far as new and developing storylines, this is where they really crushed it, right? Because to have Charlotte Flair eliminate Alexa Bliss, her best friend, that was crazy. And it's going to be crazy to see when it happens. Now, we knew that they were going to split up at some point in time or another, but for this to happen, this just shows that there's, going to start being cracks in a relationship. How long it takes them to break up, I don't know, because we had A-Town Down Under, who was in a 500-year, partnership. So we're going to see what happens there. We also seen a moment where Kairi Sane eliminated Auntie Asuka, which is crazy to do. And that was a funny moment because Io Sky, when she eliminated Kairi, she gently threw her over like, hey, I gotta get you out of here because I gotta win this match, but I'm scared of what's going to happen to you. I'm afraid for Kairi Sane. I think she's going to be on a Netflix special. She may end up on Nuke's Top 5, but who knows? I don't know. That's between her and Asuka and God. But maybe this tells us that we may get some type of, I don't know, match between Kairi and Asuka, two of my favorite wrestlers from Stardom, and obviously from WWE, of course. But is Io Sky going to be involved in it in some way or another? They're going to revisit that whole friendship thing and create a match between the 3 women. It's be very interesting to see what happens there. And I forget who eliminated Roxanne Perez. You guys let me know in the comment section. I know it came from the Judgment Day, but more importantly, Liv Morgan eliminating Raquel Rodriguez on purpose. Oh man, that was crazy. And I love this because if Raquel Rodriguez wins that championship from Stephanie Vaquer on Monday Night Raw and Liv is the person who won the Royal Rumble, which I'm happy for her, she absolutely deserves it. The storyline they can build from here to WrestleMania between Liv and Raquel is going to be fire. And to see Raquel possibly win a championship, I don't know if I'll be able to handle anything, bro. I will have to go crazy. This can be amazing, depending on how they set this whole thing up. Or even if Liv Morgan costs Raquel Rodriguez her title, because remember, it's a street fight, so there's no disqualification. So if Liv does cost Raquel Rodriguez that championship, that's still going to be an interesting storyline, and maybe that'll lead up to a triple threat at WrestleMania between Liv, Raquel, and Stephanie Vaquer. Or if they want to find a way to get Roxanne in there, they can do that too. But that's their job. I don't get paid to do that. But the possibilities is amazing. But having Liv Morgan win this match, I loved it. She deserved it. Being runner-up so many times, it was just her time. And then to have, when I'm talking about younger stars being elevated, the way that Sol Ruka looked in this match, being the final 3, that was amazing. I love that for her. And ultimately, the underdog, the MVP of this match that I was not expecting to be this effective in this match, Kiana James. Kiana James killed it. Just she looked amazing in this match, and I love that they do this. I love that they did this. But WWE, now that you showcase that she's really, really good to people who did not know, break her away from Julia. That's an extra woman you can have in the women's division on SmackDown. Matter of fact, that's 2 women now that you can have in the women's division on SmackDown. That's just me. That's a different conversation for a different day. I don't get paid to do this, but I'm just trying to tell y'all what y'all should do. But at the end of the day, this match was really, really good. This was my favorite match of the night, honestly. But speaking of matches, we got Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre, and this match ended the way that we all expected as far as Sami Zayn losing. Now, I didn't think it was going to be this one-sided because I was praising Sami, talking about, hey, this match is going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. And when it happened, you know how many DMs I got, like what happened to the match. I thought it was going to be great. It was really one-sided. On the side of Drew, it's great for him because it made him look strong, but I feel like it pretty much downgraded the match in my personal opinion. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like it was the match that I thought we were going to get, and that's fine. It was decent. I guess one of the matches had to be a match that wasn't that great to kind of, you know, give the crowd time to kind of recover, but at the same time, it definitely could have been better than that, right? Especially, it just could have been better than that. But it wasn't terrible, but it could have been better. Now, as far as AJ Styles versus Gunther, this match was fantastic. I really did love this match. It's AJ, it's Gunther. I mean, what else is there to say about this match? They did a fantastic job. Once again, I actually like this match better than the prior one, but I don't like the fact that I was wrong about my prediction, not because I want it to be right. I don't want to see AJ Styles retire. But speaking of that, the interesting part is that after Gunther beat him in this match, he was going to take off his gloves, AJ Styles, but he put them back on. He didn't leave his boots in the ring. He didn't do anything. He just walked away. Now, that could signify that, you know, he's not done wrestling for WWE, or maybe he respects the whole putting my boots and gloves in the middle of the ring so much that he doesn't want to do that until he's absolutely done with wrestling. And that could be the case. This could just mean that he's going somewhere else like TNA or AEW, whatever the case may be. But either way, I need to get a AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay match, because when Will Ospreay was going into the independent scene, I believe his first match was against AJ Styles, and I think a lot of people didn't see that match because it wasn't taped, but I remember seeing something about it a long, long time ago on a wrestling forum. So if that's the case, to go back full circle for AJ Styles to go against Will Ospreay, I would love to see that happen. But at the end of the day, this match was fantastic. And now we approach the men's Royal Rumble, and, you know, I don't think this match was as polished as the women's Royal Rumble. The kind of surprise entrances was a lot higher. You know, we had Powerhouse Hobbs come out there with this new name, Royce Keys, and I don't hate that name as much as other people do. I really do like it. I think it has a good sound to it. You had Mr. Iguana, you had La Parka, you had all these people, and I guess you really wouldn't call those surprises, but we saw Chad Gable come back as El Grande Americano, and they did the Spider-Man meme with him, and obviously the El Grande Americano right now. I thought that was interesting. And Chad Gable, bro, he looked yoked up, bro. He looked like he was lifting semi-trucks when he was gone. And I thought the match was very entertaining. Seeing Jey Uso get smacked by Roman Reigns and trying to eliminate Roman Reigns, and seeing a standoff between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, and it was just so many things that happened here. And the hooded guy coming out there and costing Braun Breaker his chance. It's like, who is this guy? Could this be Seth Rollins? Could this be, I don't know, Jake Paul? Could that have been Logan Paul? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? But I think that adds some intrigue to that story to know who this is. This person is obviously someone who is working for or is Seth Rollins himself. So to see where that develops is going to be very, very, very interesting. But ultimately, to see Drew McIntyre hits Cody Rhodes with the Claymore, knocking this guy out of, I think he hit him with a Claymore. I was watching while I was sleepy, but eliminating Cody Rhodes, that just infuriates him even more, and ultimately having Roman Reigns win the match. I told you guys in the prediction that is who I thought was going to win if Sami Zayn didn't show up. That is, of course, who won the match, and I'm not too mad about it. You know, you're talking about Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. They have a new thing going on, that the back and forth leading into WrestleMania last year, in their main event there, and their relationship with Paul Heyman, all those things. You know, I would rather they don't revisit that part of it. But this, you want a main event at WrestleMania, Roman versus Seth is going to be that. Or if you have Roman versus Drew McIntyre, this version of Drew will be interesting to be on the mic against Roman Reigns. But either way, Roman could help that World Heavyweight Championship get elevated to a whole nother level. It's great where it is, but I think he can elevate it to a whole nother level. And Roman Reigns, even though it was a safe pick and they could have picked other people, I think it just makes all the sense in the world. I really did. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed this Royal Rumble. This is definitely not the worst Royal Rumble I've ever seen, no matter what people say to you. I know people have to say those things for shock content, but it's not. There is far worse Royal Rumbles that we had before. But anyway, let me know in the comment section what y'all thought about this year's Rumble. Thank you guys so much. I got to get ready and go. Salute, peace, have a great day.